Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Rum Regret podcast. I am Andy Drake.
Johanna Myers.
Nate Tussey, and we drink and we know things.
And tonight we are joined by possibly one of the greatest human beings in the world. I don't know anyone that has a bad thing to say about Joe's half. Ken Myers is here, everybody.
Hello. Thankful to be here with you guys.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, welcome. It's awesome to finally get you on a cast.
Sure.
And especially this one that I have been waiting for years. Tonight we are talking about Cobra Kai, the new series on Netflix. Cobra Kai.
I did it.
Dude, no, please, and feel free to do it at different points through the podcast. I will join you.
Jesus. You guys are trying to make me puke? Is that what's happening?
Yeah. So a little history on this. This originally came out on YouTube Premium when YouTube decided they wanted to do original content. This was the impetus for me buying a YouTube Premium subscription. And I bought it. I watched it. I love this show. You guys have heard me talk about how much I love this show, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. And then YouTube decided it's not doing their content anymore. Now Cobra Kai is on Netflix for the entire world to see. The entire world is watching it and seeing how awesome it is, and I couldn't be more happy. It is the best show on television.
Here it is. And there's one.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. You got to take a drink every time Andy says that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers, everybody.
Hook, line, and sinker. Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
So, and again, I've said this on several podcasts that I love this show. So I want to send it out to you guys to see how you felt about it when you guys watch it. Obviously, we're going to be very spoiler heavy here. So if you haven't seen all of it, or if you haven't seen it, listen with the shielded ears, I guess. So let's throw it to Joe and Ken first. Joe, how do you feel about Cobra Kai?
I thought it was awesome, and I didn't think I was gonna like it, or I thought I was gonna be like, oh, it's okay, it's cool, but I loved it from episode 1. And also, I didn't expect to hate Daniel-san by the end of it. I'm such a Johnny girl. I'm like, go Johnny!
He's such a prick.
Yeah. So I feel like that this was sort of born from How I Met Your Mother, where Barry Stinson, Neil Patrick Harris's character, feels that Johnny Lawrence was the Karate Kid, and the story told from his side paints Daniel as the bad guy.
Right.
And I'm stoked that like this happened and they actually explored what happened to Johnny Lawrence and sort of from there. But one question I wanted to ask, what was your original sort of attachment to the Karate Kid? Like, how did you feel about that movie growing up? Was it something that you watched? Did you watch it once and forget about it? Or...
No, I can go real quick on that one.
Yeah.
If you want. So that movie came out in a super important time for me. I was a tiny kid until I was a junior in high school, so I got relentlessly picked on. I mean, my last name is Tussey, for fuck's sake. And
yeah.
And I was really fast, and I didn't like to fight. So, let your mind do the talking there.
Right.
This movie, it was a huge movie for me. I mean, God, he's the bully. He's getting picked on by a bunch of jock bullies, and hey, that happened to me. Dad put me in martial arts. They didn't want to put me in karate because I thought it was too violent, so they put me in Akido, which is completely defensive and very hard. Yeah. So I did that for a few years, but I love this movie. I watched it over and over and over. Like, wait, can I actually learn something from this? Go wax the car and sand the floor and paint the fence.
Yeah.
So it was a huge movie for me at that time.
Okay. What about you, Ken?
Growing up, I would say I was middle of the road.
Okay.
As far as relating to it, love the movie. and definitely a staple of my time growing up.
Mhm.
If it came on television, you're watching it again.
Right.
You're getting another bowl of cereal. You got your jammies still on. You're watching it. And
Totally.
then, it'd been out for a while. So if I saw it later down the road in life, sure, I'm entertained and not change the channel. But definitely a staple, I'd say, growing up for me. Did like the original Karate Kid, definitely.
Okay. All right. Joe, what about you?
I think it's the same. It's I saw it when I was a kid, and then it wasn't something that I watched all the time, but it's I knew, the whole wax on, wax off, and when I got older, I watched it again and was like, oh yeah, this is freaking great.
Right. Yeah.
Well, Daniel-san.
And what a great soundtrack too that we didn't know at the time was amazing, but in
yeah.
retrospect had some of the best one-shot songs from the 80s.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, and it falls for me as it did for Nate here. I was a fat kid growing up. I was a jock, but I wasn't a popular jock. So it was one of those sort of escape movies for me where, it's the nerd comes in and gets the girl and beats up the high school asshole and wins the day. And yeah, it was one of those movies that was on quite a bit in my house and was watched a lot. So Karate Kid holds a very, very special place in my heart. And in a day of a lot of sort of nostalgia sort of reboots with original cast and them coming back 30 years down the road, 40 years down the road, all of these 80s sort of properties are coming back to us right now. There's a lot of misses. There's a lot of ones that are just sort of hastily written. Star Wars. And, it just comes out and it pulls at some heartstrings, but it just doesn't catch, it just doesn't catch ground, and it's just not there. And I feel like.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, keep going.
Thought. Well, no, I want finish your thought because I wanted to ask you, what do you think your brothers would say to that same question about what they think about Karate Kid as when they first saw it, kind of thing?
So that's a good question. So Danny had skipped 2 years. He skipped kindergarten and second grade. So he graduated high school as a 16-year-old. So he was, behind a lot of kids and had two friends who were both very nerdy sort of kids. And, I have a feeling that it spoke to Dan quite a bit. Tomi, and I love Tomi to no end. He is, he is a great brother, but kind of a dick in high school.
No, I couldn't see that at all.
But Tomi has always been confident in himself, and confidence was never his problem.
No.
So Danny did not get confidence until he went to the Naval Academy, and they tore him down, and man, did he come back way hard.
I can relate to that. I was the shy guy in high school, so after the military myself, it opens up a different part of you. So anyway, on that note.
Right. No, absolutely. So that's where I think it fell for them. And I'm not sure, I got to ask Danny about it because I don't know. I mean, he was around when I was watching it, that's for sure. But I'm trying to remember if it meant as much to him as it did to me. So I don't know. But let's continue sort of going around the horn. Ken, tell me your thoughts on this, on Cobra Kai as a whole.
Man, I got so much I'm trying to fit in my brain and spit out, but let's see. Let's just go with the fact they did a good job overall of capturing, the fact they got all the same actors from the original movie in itself,
right.
It's just like, is this going to work? Is this another Terminator thing? It's just fascinating job, the way it all came together with the with the actors, and I think they did a fantastic job at it.
Yeah.
And then whoever wrote it, I mean, they did good tie-ins, you know, and related to current day. And I think that was the biggest thing. Like, you know, there's iPhones, right? And smartphones. And just just hit me and just made me floor me when you know, Johnny's like, a computer? I never use a computer.
Right.
It's like this in my feet, you know? That was just fantastic. And he's like, you know, he goes to the pawn shop. He's like, you sold me a lemon.
Right. Yeah.
Did you turn it on? You know, just the little things that just bring it up to speed. Now, I'll let you carry from there. I mean,
no, so that scene in particular, and I love that
man.
you brought that up. Well, so, but first and foremost, that Johnny is literally stuck in the 80s. Like he got
there you go. You hit on the head right there.
Yeah, like he got a flip phone. That was as evolved as he got past, you know, past sort of anything else. And then that scene in particular, because the first thing he does when he gets it hooked up to the Wi-Fi is search for hot chicks. And then 80s movies, and then like karate stuff, and it's just, oh man, it's like,
and it's not like he typed in PORN. He's like wet suit, bathing suit content, whatever it was.
What t-shirt contest?
Yeah, I was like, this is my man.
Motley
Right
Crue
here.
videos and shit.
Yeah.
oh
Old
man,
school.
literally what any one of us would have done with a computer hooked up to the internet for the first time. It was just
It really captured that. The first time you went, wow, you mean I can just type in something and there it goes? I think they did a good job with that.
You know, he actually benefited from that gap because he never had to wait for the pictures of the hot chicks to download line by line, pixel by pixel.
Could you imagine?
I'm almost
disconnected. What are you talking about?
Buffering.
Yeah,
buffering. You know,
Mom, get off the phone.
Right, exactly. I was just about to see nipple and grandma called. What the hell?
No doubt, yeah.
Oh, it kicked me off the damn modem. Oh God.
Good thing too. Could you imagine trying to implement this with that era with John? No, it wouldn't work. You know?
No.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Right, and that's one of the really good things. It's like this could not have come out at a different time. Like this story is perfect for now. And that's one thing. And Johnny's where he is, sort of episode 1, season 1. Like the flip phone is the only thing that he's done since the 80s. That's the only, and it's literally just for work, it seems like. And everything else, he's drinking Coors Banquet and watching Iron Eagle every night. You know?
I was gonna say, how much money did Coors pay?
Oh
for
God!
the product placement, because it's all every restaurant he goes to, every dinner, every time he's at the house.
Oh yeah,
it's Coors original.
You gotta wonder how much Budweiser and Coors were battling it out for this.
I hope so. Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
I'd love to see the numbers in the back end.
Budweiser man.
Well, whoever won that's what beer he's drinking for for Cobra Kai. That's a sponsor, but you know, I think the Coors fits the car the best, though. You know.
Yeah. I agree,
oh
sure.
man.
Oh man. Yeah. The blackout with the yellow and
the T-tops and shit.
Oh God. Yeah.
The newer car doesn't have the T-tops. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Nate, what did you think of the series overall? Before we get into, like, I know we've jumped into some specifics here, but what did you think overall?
Before we get in the details, yeah, for sure. So, I mean, you were raving about this thing for a long time before I actually watched it when I moved over to Netflix. When did it first come out? Do you know? A couple of years?
So it's been out for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really kind of hesitant to watch it because you were so hardcore about it, honestly.
Yeah. No, I did sell it pretty hard.
You did, but it was completely worth it. They hit the nail on the head with the kind of retro nostalgia in a contemporary time where LaRusso's got an auto dealership and Johnny's hanging TVs on the wrong wall for rich people.
Oh man. Yeah.
It's a pretty, I mean, I know we talked about this before in a couple of other podcasts where I said it was kind of hacky because it's kind of, it's predictable and it's formulaic and that kind of thing, but it works so well, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
they do such a good job of the storylines where you've got, you know, this kid coming from this side and, oh, wait, now he's going to be that kid's pupil. And then they kind of cross the streams and you're like, okay, I can see where this is headed. But they do a really good job kind of turning it on its ear and showing those little side cuts where it's showing the movie from Johnny's point of view.
Yeah.
Are perfect. The tone is perfect. I don't buy it at all because that movie spoke to me so much. It's like,
Right.
But I can see how, okay, he was just being a dick jock meathead and it pushed her away because he was worried about LaRusso moving in on this girl. Okay, I can see how that works.
Yeah.
Anyway, I really liked it a lot. I think I devoured the whole thing in a weekend.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Oh yeah.
I don't have a lot to do. Hashtag get Nate hired.
Hashtag get Nate hired, please.
But other than that, I really loved it. So yeah, thanks for suggesting it. Really good time.
Good. So one of the really cool things that the writers did, well, that the writers got, was when they got this project, they were given access to all of the shot footage, whether it was used or not, from the original Karate Kid. So so in that opening sequence, and this opens right at the 1984 tournament, we get to see different camera angles that we never saw of that fight, sort of from Johnny's point of view. And then the last slow-mo kick is entirely new footage that they shot with lookalike actors, where he turns and they show him lying down on the mat after the kick.
Oh, interesting. I was wondering about that.
Yeah. And so I just thought that was, and they pull it apart on a YouTube video, like one of those anatomy of a scene YouTube videos where they talk about the different footage that they found, the different angle. This was the angle that you got in the original movie. This is the angle that we give you now. But I just want to talk about episode 1, that first time. So immediately we get, Johnny going to work. We get Poison, Nothing But a Good Time, sort of, in the background. And then, we get sort of the like 2-minute version of Johnny's life since 1984. And then enter the new kid, and it really mirrors sort of Daniel moving into Miyagi's apartment complex. But this time you have, Diego going, seeing Johnny coming out of his crappy apartment, saying, "Hey man, is your water pressure okay?" And then we cut to, then we get to kids bullying Diego when Johnny's eating his pizza, and he kicks their butts, and it sort of goes from there.
They call him a bum.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The other bum says, "No busking on my corner," and then he proceeds to kick the kids' asses.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then it goes from there. He, and then we find out too in that episode that, we don't find out how bad it was, but you find out sort of Johnny's home life. His stepfather comes, basically gives him a check to say, "Hey, get out of my life." Like, oh, okay. So Johnny's home life really wasn't that great. This is, and this is that first sort of look into it. So I thought that was a great hook in to just seeing, and then you get the quick shot of Daniel's billboard, the "We Kick the Competition" billboard.
Does he paint the billboard in episode 1?
No, he doesn't. And that's
spoiler alert. He becomes an artist.
So
it's not Georgia O'Keeffe painting.
That's the banquet style.
Yeah, but I love that setup that it's and this season 1 does have sort of in several aspects a Force Awakens type feel, that it's a very familiar story to how Force Awakens was to A New Hope, but it is told from that other point of view, where Force Awakens was still sort of talking, and I'm going to talk about Star Wars a lot here just because it's one of those nostalgia projects where Star Wars didn't work. This one totally works. Mm-hmm. But you reference, and I love that they cut in a lot of the original movie just to see where they're going with this stuff.
That wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, in that you can tell that they really respected the source material and wanted to tell a story that made sense, that this is where these people would be, you know, at this time, so down the road. And then, you know, just because, you know, Johnny has this one night of getting sort of back into karate and wanting to help this kid, you know, Cobra Kai is suddenly born again. And yeah, and the whole arc of Cobra Kai during the season where, you know, Diego isn't like the most popular kid in school and he's sort of a scrawny little nerd, and he gets all of the other nerds to join Cobra Kai.
That was fantastic.
I just thought was one of like the coolest like things, because, you know, Cobra Kai were dicks in high school. They were assholes,
right.
But no, now the Cobra Kais that come to Johnny are the nerds, are the exact kids. And when they come in, he starts picking on him immediately. Like he goes into high school sort of Johnny Lawrence mode.
Oh yeah.
And just, you know, that sort of tough love aspect of like, no, this is how I was taught. This is how I'm going to teach.
Make it or break it, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. To start off. One of the other things too that they bring up, and I just realized this, like I got it the first time I saw it, but it really sort of sunk in the second time that I watched Cobra Kai, was they cut to one scene where Daniel's in the car and they're showing a flashback of Miyagi telling him, remember the lesson about balance.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
Not just karate, but also in life. You know, this isn't just a karate lesson. This is a life lesson. I love how Johnny brings strike first, strike hard, no mercy into the same light. So he's telling his kids, like, strike first, strike hard isn't just about karate. It's also about life. With women, you're not going to get another chance. You need to go. You need to strike first. And I'm like,
yeah. Oh,
how much sense
I didn't quite make that connection. Yeah.
Like how much, it's such a brilliant move by the writers, because it makes such sense about how Johnny was in high school, you know, to sort of take that, you know, no, I'm not going to sit back and let Daniel just take my ex-girlfriend. You know, if someone swipes at me, I'm swiping back. And
yeah, you can really see how that backfires too, though, because he loses his girlfriend, his life goes to shit. He tries to teach this kid the same things, and then the kid gets in trouble because he's suddenly no mercy kid.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, wow, you're a total dick now.
It's almost a learning curve for Johnny as an instructor.
Exactly
and teacher and mentor all the same. It's really
exactly
cool
right.
how he's going, and he recoaches them. I can't remember what stage, you know, now, you know, I never taught you what mercy was about. He had to kind of really, really stress on that.
Does he touch on that in season 1, or is that
happen
after?
It happens
in the tournament, right?
Yeah, the tournament at the end.
Yeah, at the end.
You see it in his face. He's like, oh.
Yeah.
Man, well,
yeah, because Dick is back, right? Crease is
right.
back at that
well,
point.
yeah, Crease is back. But honestly, I think it's, you know, going like the kids that he taught going up against Robbie Keane, his kid. You know, that's the ultimate sort of rock and hard place for a dad. You know.
Yeah. But at that given moment, he didn't even know Robbie was in the tournament. So that was all true, you know, from, hey, guys, this is what I'm trying to say, you know. With the no mercy thing.
Yeah, I think he realizes that he made an error before the tournament. I can't remember exactly what episode it was in.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, maybe cheating the Crease way is a bad idea. I need to make it my own thing. And
I think he's just always trying to make sure it's not the Crease way, and he's still learning himself how to portray that to the students and his kids, as mentors. I shouldn't say.
That's one of the things that bugged me about the series. It's like, how do you let this guy back through the door after everything that happened in the movie? And then after everything you know about this guy, I appreciate the whole second chance thing and all that, but I don't see that happening.
Well, and I
especially
think
considering what
because
happened.
Johnny wants a second chance himself, so he's, like, I'm willing to give you that second chance because I hope somebody gives me that,
Right.
That's his heart.
Yeah.
That's his heart right there coming out.
And all through the series, he's been trying to get the second chance with Robbie,
Yep.
So I have a feeling that that's what drives him to give Kreese that second chance. He's like, well, it's like my stepfather's an asshole. He never liked me. I screwed up with my son. And he has that really great moment with Diego, I think in season 2, episode 1, where he's talking with him in the diner across from the hospital where Robbie was born. He's like, Robbie was born. It was a Saturday and I wasn't there. I failed him on the first day, he was around. And I've been screwing up ever since. And so he ultimately wants that second chance with Robbie. And he's willing to sort of go. And I think that's what motivates him to say, no, we all deserve a second chance. And that's why he's sort of so willing to give Kreese that shot. And, and Kreese's introduction into the series was, obviously he's fucking evil because he was evil in the movies and that he's there. But
just look at the guy and the way he smokes a cigar.
Oh,
Come on.
Oh, God. Yeah. No, it's so good.
If he was bald and had a cat in his lap, it would be any more obvious.
Right.
But he came in pulling heartstrings and found the weakness, with Johnny, and we know where it went from there. But
and I think he said
manipulative.
I think he said just enough to Johnny to sort of stay around and make him feel that he was, he was different.
Right.
He was a different guy. So like, what were some of the high points of either season that sort of really sort of sold you guys on this, just aside from the story? But were there any sort of particular moments where you guys were like, oh man, this is so cool?
Pretty much like all of the Johnny 80s nostalgia, the car, like drinking the Coors Banquet.
I gotta agree with the Firebird, the 85 Firebird or whatever 90s even. I mean, that just coming out of the gates with Poison pumping. I mean, man, all that really sold me, definitely.
So his
that was cool.
fantasy about the kid's mom.
Oh God, the White Snake. The White Snake was so good.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
And another like great part for me was the whole introduction of Hawk.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we got to talk about Hawk.
Man, that was one where like as a nerdy kid growing up that became a goth kid. Yeah. I can totally relate to that transition. I'm just like, all right, we're just gonna punk it out and just go balls to the wall because I'm tired of getting shit on.
I'll let you guys go. Can we come back to Hawk as a Hawk individual thing? And that Hawk is like a unique character in the whole thing.
Well, but, I mean, let's get into it. And I love his introduction is when the counselor is giving the the speech of. We don't make fun of someone's facial deformity.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Who could that be?
Yeah. Right.
Good job, counselor. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, counselor.
Yeah. But yeah, and Johnny's initial response to Hawk was calling him Lip.
Yeah.
Right.
And then telling him, yeah, man, you got to flip the script. You got to, you got to sort of own it and give us something else.
It was cool how he put the trigger in there and it just warped his mind and went click. And he thought he just quit and left and comes back. Holy crap. This kid actually got what I was trying to say. You know,
who gave the high school kid a giant back tattoo? Because
exactly.
all aside, you can get anything this day and age. He's going East 14th and 6th Street, whatever. But
sorry, wait, can you? What was that?
Yeah, right. Back tattoo, guaranteed.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but
no, please.
he came back and was like, oh man, Gunnery Sergeant Hartmaned him, and he came back like, yes sir, I am ready for battle. Well, that was just amazing.
No, and on that note, like, he finally gets the advice that he's needed to sort of turn himself around and A, get confident, but then B, take the emphasis off of the one thing that's held him back his whole time. And of course, once you finally get that, you're going to do what that guy tells you from now on, because look what he's given me right now. People are not talking about my lip anymore. Girls are starting to notice me now. And that was another really, really great scene of season 1, where the rich girl is going to have her party at that little lakefront, and the Cobra Kai's are like, hell no, we're going first. And then Moon, I love Moon, the best friend as a character. She gets out and she's looking at Hawk, and Hawk's like, give it, and she just runs
Hawk's
down.
like, yeah,
that's fine.
Hawk full around got confidence once he flipped that whole script in his own head and was like, yeah, now I'm a new person. Like he put in on a new persona, a new uniform, whatever you want to call it. He broke him in the sense just by saying, you got to flip the script, and he actually got it, which was the cool thing. At least that's how they showed it in the whole thing.
Yeah, but and that was the thing I love, that Diego, sort of dances that line. Not so much in season 1, because he sort of gets, he goes, but then he really starts to come back in season 2. But yeah, Hawk just really turns into what he's hated his whole life. Even so far in season 2, it's like, that's nerd shit, man. I don't
right.
I don't talk about that stuff.
Hawk went full Sith.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that kind of honestly really bugged me about the series, is what they did to those kids. Cause I get the whole idea of the confidence factor and boosting all that. And it really just shines a light on how inept Johnny is as a mentor and a teacher and a role model.
Right.
Because he has these young minds that he's triggering and shaping and like turning him into other things, which is great, but he doesn't know how to do it. And he's fucking up, and he had horrible parenting. So he's not the best, he's like, suck it up, cry ass, that kind of stuff, which is fine. But the kids all turn from these, like, they're nerds, whatever, but they're nice people. They're good people. And they turn into complete assholes. And that's one of the things I really hated about what they did with the main character, because he's this like super smart, articulate kid, and then you end up hating him because turns into a total dick. And I know why they do it, but it's pretty ham-fisted, and I don't know, it just rubbed me the wrong way. It's like, come on, guys, really, you're gonna do this with the Latino kid?
Right. Well, but Diego, that was the thing. Sort of in season 2, he gets it. Like he gets it after a while, and
he challenges them too. Like, are you sure that's what we're supposed to do in Sensei? Like, he's got a conscience.
Yeah,
he knows right from wrong.
Well, that's why Kreese gets into Hawk, is because he knows he can't get
right.
What's the name?
Diego.
Yeah. He knows who's more manipulative than the rest. What minds can I mold? Whereas Diego he thinks for himself more so than a lot of the other students and other kids. But I hear what you're saying, Nate. But at the flip side, I think they kind of had to be really bold with it,
Yeah, you're right.
Unfortunately. But the young minds in this it's a perfect example how easy you can shift left or right on the mindset of, oh, I'm this person, now I'm that person, in meaning just up or down, left, right, doesn't matter what you want to call it. It is interesting, though.
Yeah, and there's actually some parallels I can take from that, because, like I said, I was a tiny kid until I was a junior in high school, and then I started hanging out with a bunch of 6-foot like basketball players in my friend group at that point. And a lot of my friends that I'd been playing D&D with and Magic the Gathering in the library were like, "Hey, where'd you go? What happened to you, man?" Like, nah, I don't do that nerd shit anymore. Even though I did sometimes, but I I can distinctly remember a few occasions where I felt bad because I'd kind of abandoned the people that had supported me for years, because it's like, ooh, whole new world happening over here.
Yeah. And one of the things about this show that I really dug is that Hawk and Kreese, and a couple of the other sort of like main Cobra Kai kids, there are those kids you just sort of hate and you know that they're bad all throughout. There's one point where you feel bad for Kreese where it shows you where he's been living, and he's in that weird sort of halfway house,
right?
And you kind of feel bad for Kreese at that point, and he says, and Johnny tells him, defeat doesn't exist in this dojo, and he says, and Kreese says, yes, sensei. And you think that, oh man, he finally got to Kreese, Kreese is going to come around. But with Johnny and with Daniel and with all of the other main characters is that your allegiances to them waver from week to week. You're with them one week, but then you're not with them the next week. And I think that that's the brilliance of the show, is because they're giving us sort of, that we're cheering for the different sides. It's that it's that really great game that's sort of going back and forth where both teams are playing really well and you don't fucking know who to root for.
Yeah, it was like Sunday football. I was rooting for the goddamn Cowboys. How the hell did that happen?
Right.
Like, just beat Seattle, please. These are both evil teams. Just beat
God
Seattle.
Damn it. God, that is 2020, Nate.
I know. Hey, I'm just reinforcing what you're saying with a perfect example.
God damn.
Well, then there's the times where it's like, like Daniel and Johnny are like almost making amends and having a good time, like when they go on the double date and they're like having beers, and it's like they're almost buried.
And they always fuck it up.
And then something fucks it up, and then
every
it's
time.
just like they're back at it.
Those are the little, what do you call it? They're not cliffhangers. I don't know what you call that, but yeah, they do a good job at insert here, insert here.
Yeah. So those
funky wrenches.
So Joe, no, I'm glad you brought that up, Joe. So two episodes in particular. So first, you have that really great moment of Daniel's cousin, I think, with his thugs sort of torching Johnny's car. Mm-hmm. So Johnny coming to the LaRusso house, and then them about to fight, and then the wife comes out, and I love that the wife is sort of the audience here. She's like, no, and all throughout the second season, she sort of says what everyone else is saying at home as they're watching this. But she comes out and says, "Okay, can't we talk about this over breakfast?" And Johnny's like, "I can eat," and then they have that
banquet,
right? And then they have that scene where Amanda convinces Daniel to give him a car. And then this mirrors Miyagi taking Daniel to his house and showing him 4 cars and saying, choose. Now you have Daniel taking him to his car lot and saying choose.
But the tie-ins are... Yeah.
Yeah. And he's saying
tie-ins are
sort
fantastic.
Yeah, under his breath, and he hates that he has to do this. But then they go for the test drive. Fucking REO Speedwagon comes on. And they start nodding their head. Like... That's such a great setup to the drinking scene, and then the drinking scene, you're just like, fuck, man, they're getting there. They're like, they're finally gonna figure out where each other's coming from. That they're fucking the same person, they come back. They've been drinking, and fucking Robbie's there at their house, and that's when shit just goes off the rails. But then. Yeah, Joe, you hit the nail on season 2, episode 9, when they go on the double date at the Mexican restaurant.
Man. The typical girl maneuver of we're going to go to the bathroom and leave you two alone to work your shit out.
Right, yeah.
When we come back, everything better be copacetic.
Yeah, and then them bonding over giving the waitress shit for not writing stuff down. They even talk about this blueberry pie incident, which is actually a deleted scene from the original Karate Kid. That no one had ever seen except for the showrunners, right? But they put the reference in there, and it's just God. And then they do the dance you know, they're out there dancing and everything. And then, yeah, the sort of the shit stopper there is when Robbie and what's her name, the daughter LaRusso show up after the party. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. She gets hammered.
Yeah, Samantha. She gets hammered, and they don't. She doesn't want her parents to see her like that.
Duke it out in the apartment of all things. You know?
Oh yeah,
man.
But yeah, those two scenes in particular, both like, and you just like you want them to get there, like you want them to understand each other, and you want them to, but then there's always that one fucking element that throws it completely off the rails, and that's where this show just really gets so good.
Can I pose a question? Sorry, Ken, go ahead.
That's okay. I was just saying, I think that's what makes the show. It's always it's a sine wave. It's up and down. If it was just the way it was supposed to go in your mind, then it wouldn't be any fun, you know? So you did a really good job of that.
Yeah, fair point. The question I had was, does this series hold any kind of record for the number of montages that are in it? Because there are so many fucking training montage, right. Cleaning the apartment montage, training montage too, rebuilding the dojo montage, waxing the car montage.
Well, the training montages were such a huge part of the franchise.
So you're not saying no, Andy?
No,
what I'm hearing. You're not saying no. Okay.
On the training note, I'll say I like the difference between the cement truck and the balance wheel.
Oh, God,
the cement truck was amazing.
Opposite there.
Oh my God, my OSHA brain was going haywire.
You have two complete opposites right there. I thought that was a fan. You got kids in a cement truck trying to move it manually.
Yeah,
you got two people on a balanced wheel on water, just doing the right thing. You're like, wow.
God. Oh, the cement truck thing would have been hard enough without cement in it.
Right.
You didn't need to put cement in the thing for it to be hard.
Right.
Let's put two hormonal teenagers in a pool.
Right. That's worked cement and concrete knows that shit will burn if you leave it on your skin for too long. Those kids are having problems.
Yeah. Oh, man. So a couple other sort of notable parts for me. Season 1, episode 2, when we finally see where Daniel's been sort of through his journey, and he comes up to the mini mall in Reseda and sees the Cobra Kai logo for the first time after 30 years.
The Kill Bill music in the background.
Exactly. I wanted the Kill Bill music and the fucking screen to go red and everything, but you see it in his face. Dude, and you know that he peed in the car at that point. Like, you just know he pissed himself.
Oh, yeah.
And then I love that like Daniel's inner asshole sort of takes over. He gets his rent fucking hiked.
Oh God! With the sleazy Armenian landlord. Jesus Christ! We typecast that guy anymore and everything.
Oh God!
He was in Borat. That was Borat's buddy.
No,
right?
Borat movie.
Yeah. Yes. Oh God! Yeah. And I like that scene alone, just him driving up and the slow-mo on his face when he sees the logo. I just so.
Yeah, I love when he sees his billboard.
Oh yeah, that was great. Dude.
Oh yeah.
Or his wife's coaching him along the way into work. Have you seen it? Oh yeah, it's freaking huge. And, you know, it's he's
talking about the competition, right? And not his,
Yeah. And then I didn't know how I felt about Tori's introduction to sort of Cobra Kai until they started to pit her against Samantha LaRusso. You know, for some reason when I watched it, like, I didn't think that that's where that was going to go, but then I realized after, you know, obviously this is going to be fucking Diego's new side. But funny, just sort of side note that she introduces herself as Tori with a Y, and Allie in the original movie introduces herself as Allie with an I.
Interesting.
So the current fan theory is that Tori is actually Allie's daughter.
Oh.
I don't know if that holds any water, but still, it's
Yeah,
you know.
I don't know about that.
Who knows?
Sure.
Um,
With who? With Johnny.
Oh,
Bum, bum,
dun, dun,
bum.
dun. Previously on Cobra Kai.
Right.
You gotta love fan theory, but yeah.
I know. I think that's way too out there to hold any water. And like if it was, I think that would be a down for me. Like I wouldn't. They don't need to connect it that much.
No.
Yeah.
I think they did so good already that that would be like.
I mean, it's enough that Allie called him. That's
right. Yeah.
Oh, right.
It wasn't a call. It was a friend request, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I love that a Facebook friend request to Johnny Lawrence was the cliffhanger for season 2.
Oh my god, yeah,
that just puts such a great exclamation point on the series and where it's been. It's like, no, fuck this phone, I'm throwing it away, and Bill sends you a friend request.
One of the side story, real quick, that I wanted to just bring up was what they did with the biker gang, where one of the guys was dying.
I was just going to bring this up.
Yeah, they did a really good job with that, and it showed a lot of heart. And then again, it was something you could kind of see where it was headed. But the fact that they went to the bar and then were just drinking beers and playing pool, and then they kicked the shit out of everybody.
Yeah,
because they're all karate champs and shit. Like, yeah, that was really good. It was super emotional too. And they they're camping, and then they wake up, and the guy's just gone. Like,
so that's season 2, episode 6. Take a Right, which references. Tomi, the character who passes away, Tommy's first line was when they ride up, he's like, "Go take a right, check it out," and that's when he sees, I think Allie and Daniel on the beach. And another funny thing about this too is, this episode had a lot of heart, and this is one of those episodes that really sold the series. So we have 3 of the original Cobra Kai actors. We get the reference that Dutch is still in prison because Dutch was the dick from the first movie. The Beach Blonde, played by Chad McQueen, Steve McQueen's son, who is a race car driver now. But one thing I want to talk about is sort of the, Bobby, the one who calls Johnny, and he talks to him in the hospital reception as a preacher, and Bobby was sort of the voice of reason on the original Cobra Kai team. When Miyagi's beating him up, he's saying, no, he's had enough. And then when he hurts Daniel in the tournament, he runs down there and says, "Oh man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do this." He's a preacher now. So sort of, paralleling his sort of good-natured, he knows what he did was sort of messed up. And then Tomi, who's the one who's dying, is the one that sort of famously gave us that get him a body bag in the original tournament. And his last scene in Cobra Kai, getting zipped up in a body bag.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I just thought was sort of poetic for his sort of most famous line, in the movie, is that you got Tomi a body bag.
Ouch.
Yeah. The one of the sort of the last things that I want to bring up about how great this and season 2, episode 10, the single take hallway fight scene.
Yes. Oh my God. It was so good.
Is so amazing. And so the actors, the kids break this down on YouTube. They break down that scene on YouTube, and it's so cool because they do what they call Texas switches in there, where you see them fighting the actress, but then they pan away because they get thrown up against a locker or something, and you come back and then they're beating up the stunt double.
Right.
Because the stunt double is hanging out behind the cameraman, waiting for their one scene. And it's such a great YouTube video to watch because and they did this in Game of Thrones with one of the battles at Castle Black. They did this huge single take fight scene, and they talked about how long it took to put together. And so I've really started to notice these in entertainment as I sort of bring in entertainment. When I saw this, I'm just like, oh man, single take fight scene. Oh dude, this is so good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, and then God, the chubby guy who joins Cobra Kai season 2, the guy who was at the hardware store.
Oh my God, he's awesome.
You can call me
Raymond,
Spike.
AKA.
Right.
Wasn't it? You could call me Spike or something like that, or what was his?
No, he had the beard. Yeah.
Oh God, what was his name?
Stingray.
Yeah, Stingray.
Not Spike. Stingray. There you go.
Yeah, and then he has his little tiger claw moment in that fight too, where he's interviewing for the security guard thing, takes down one of the kids, high fives one of the Cobra Kais, and then comes around.
Oh, that was fantastic tie-in. I got this.
Right. Yeah.
Hands-on interview now.
Oh God, I thought this that scene alone was so good, and then obviously the climax of that scene, coming in with Robbie and Diego's fight, and ending how it did, and this is sort of this theory's been out there, but
is it Miguel, not Diego?
Oh God, man!
I'm looking at the cast list right now, and we've been saying Diego
the whole goddamn time.
We're assholes.
So we are assholes. Yeah,
not Diego.
Edit to Miguel.
Right? Yeah. I'll
wait.
So after this is over, we'll get everybody saying Miguel. and I'll put it over.
We all do voiceovers, but with different inflections. Miguel,
right.
Miguel.
Yeah.
Miguel.
Oh man, that would be so funny.
Oh my God,
awesome.
We have to do that actually.
I just created an editing nightmare for myself. All right.
No, I don't do that. That's hilarious.
No, I'm not. It's professional. We ain't.
We'll put a comedy disclaimer at the front.
How many times we screw up? Ding, 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 ding. Mario coin sound.
So this is going to be one of our drinking episodes where we caught ourselves saying the wrong name the entire podcast until the end.
God.
Anytime
we are
Diego,
regret.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we are rubbing regret, and plenty of regret in this.
Right.
God damn. Yeah, it's not even the actor's name either. That's terrible.
Not even close.
You know?
No.
Yeah.
You're a horrible racist, Andy. I think that's what was revealed on Rum Regret.
Yeah.
I went with it.
Yeah, I know. I went with it too.
Right.
I was completely wrong.
Yeah.
We were led astray. Something. So that's one of the things that this show does really well. The choreography is spectacular, all the way from the beginning through the end. Not only the nostalgia, not only the writing, but the choreography is nuts. And one of the things that really makes this show for me is the supporting cast. All of the friends, all of the nerd group, like Dimitri. They never give him a last name, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, God,
but when he's calling out Hawk, he's like, "You mean Eli Moskowitz?"
Right.
He has, and he gives the scientific definition for a bedwetter. He's like, also known as bedwet. Like he's just going off on him. But then I love
all of his Game of Thrones references.
Yeah, exactly.
I love.
Are amazing. I also like the Aisha character. She's the heavier set chick that's on the Cobra Kai squad.
She dropped like so much weight in season 2.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I mean, she's training. But that was just my only way to identify who she was. But she's like number 2 that joins, right? Or number 3, like one of the early adopters.
She's number 2. Yeah,
so much ass. Yeah. It's fucking great. I love her character arc in that. But the wife, Amanda, right?
She's so good, and
she carries the show.
Yeah. Well, and I love that.
It's amazing.
She points out everything that the audience is saying is like, God, Daniel's spending all of his time at Miyagi-Do Karate. Like his business is going to go to shit. She's like, hey, you got to come to work. Yeah.
Like, and that's that there's a voice of reason. These two grown baby kids are like fighting at each other.
Right. Yeah. And then, and even during the Mexican restaurant scene, she's like, okay, we're doing this, and she does not take any of their shit at all for any, like, she doesn't take it for any amount of time. And it's, she's definitely one of the better. And I love that they, you said it, like the actors, and then Ken mentioned this in the beginning, that they brought a lot of the original actors back. Daniel's mom from the movie, they brought back, and I love that they pitted her against Amanda for a little bit, as mother-in-laws always are.
Wait, what?
Yeah, right. Hey, I actually never
Editing
met.
nightmare number 2.
No, I never met my mother-in-law. So
I'm sorry.
So yeah,
Poor choice.
But anyway, no, it's they picked. I think they picked the right amount of nostalgia to make this show, good for the people that love the Karate Kid, but they put in enough of a new story with the kids and the love triangle that suddenly becomes a love square that, or is it a love quadrangle? I don't know.
I still think we're trying to figure that out. Actually.
Right. Yeah.
TBD.
Yeah. And then, no, I just think that the story, with the kids is just interesting enough that the show, if for some reason the show goes on for 10 years, I can see sort of, the slow sort of bow out with Daniel and Johnny and these kids sort of carrying it on.
I think you probably have 1 or 2 more seasons tops before.
I think so. I know. I don't see this going on for 10 seasons, but who knows?
10 years would be great because then they'll have kids together and people are in college or not. Well, no, you're in high school now. Never mind.
Second COVID will come out.
Exactly.
But no, I'm glad that you brought up Dimitri, Nate, because I love the freezer scene where Daniel finally figures out how to train him. And he's like, no, you're the most neurotic person I've met. You anticipate everything. It's like, you are going to be great at karate because you automatically think of the worst situation that can happen.
Right.
On that note, Andy, it's great how he managed to zero in on how that guy thinks and go,
exactly.
How do I get this kid to use that brain power?
Right. Yeah.
It's all it is. Mind over matter. And he finally figures out, he's always complaining, I can't do direct hits and I can't do this. And he just needs to get him to understand it's not about that. You have it. You just have to capture it.
Yeah.
So it is quite amazing how Daniel kind of figures out, how do I get all my students to just mold them just to a way where they can balance them individual out and figure out how to make things work,
Right. Yeah. You hit it on the head there. I thought that was one of the greater, sort of training sequences where Daniel finally figures out how to talk, how to get through to Dimitri. My mother brought me a note where I can't do any strenuous arm or leg.
Yeah.
The
whole point of learning karate right now.
Exactly.
Right. Is there a workbook that I can do to get this?
Is there a workbook, coloring book, something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are just so many good moments in this. Along with the story that I just think really solidify just sort of where we're going and what we're doing. And with Miguel's ding ding fate at the end of season 2 and Allie, the girlfriend from the original Karate Kid, being a pediatric surgeon, I think that's going to be her sort of entrance into, into the universe.
Good catch. They didn't mention what she does.
I can't get enough of Elizabeth Shue, so either way.
Oh man, yeah, I know. God, her little cameo in The Boys.
Oh yeah, no, that cameo was a little too mommy for me. I'm thinking of her in like The Saint and stuff back in the day.
Oh well, yeah, but no, her most recent cameo in The Boys, in the cabin with Homelander.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Don't get me started
but it's
on
Chameleon. Let's not spoil things.
No. Yeah. All right.
So one thing that I was left with at the end of the series is Robbie in jail? Because he probably should be in jail for assault. But please don't put Robbie in jail.
I think that went past probably a lot of people's minds in the sense of, what's going to happen to Miguel? But
Robbie took off, right?
That's a good
Robbie
point,
Joe.
That is a good point.
Yeah,
they both take off at the end. They both kind of split, right?
Yeah, he's going to be MIA, I bet, at the beginning.
Guaranteed.
Or they're going to
guaranteed, yeah.
Yeah. Or they're going to shoot to him 30, 40, 50 miles away, you know, like back in with the bad crowd or something like that. You know,
running trying to start fresh at some diner, you know, just doing whatever, you know, or something like that. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Somebody searches them out and finds them, kind of thing, if that's the case.
Yeah. All right. So here's where I want to bring in my out there, my out there sort of parallel. Okay.
Do you have a drum roll for that?
Right. Yeah. So this next generation sort of storyline that we got with, you know, Johnny in shambles, Daniel sort of in power but not practicing karate, and then suddenly Cobra Kai starts to rise, and that sort of forces Daniel out of karate retirement to relearn what he has learned in karate and starting Miyagi-Do. This is what I wanted for my Star Wars sequel trilogy. This is what I wanted out of Force Awakens and those 3 subsequent movies. I wanted the sort of the rise and fall. If, let's say, Miguel is Kylo Ren, you know, that Miguel gets trained in the dark arts, you know, realizing his sort of, meanwhile, you know, Robbie is sort of found by Luke and trained by Luke, but then is learned to have sort of descended from the dark side.
That's what happens, though.
Yeah.
That's literally what happens in Star Wars. They tell the story horribly, but that's literally what happens.
Deserve better.
Kylo yeah, exactly, because Kylo ends up being
but we got everything after the fact. Kylo's already trained. Like
that was just horrible.
I would have loved to see him as the snot-nosed little kid, you know, coming in to get trained and to see where he sort of fell off.
Yeah, for sure. They did a terrible job with that. I think the only parallel that I don't agree with when you're talking about that is they nailed the nostalgia in Star Wars in the first movie the same way that this first season of the show nails the nostalgia of Karate Kid.
Yes.
But it was clear there wasn't any general direction or general plan for Star Wars in the new sequel trilogy. So
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then my one final nugget that has nothing to do with Star Wars or anything too, but
back to Cobra Kai.
Yeah, one of the writers on this also penned Hot Tub Time Machine, where you know, a great sort of 80s stories, but back in the 80s when they go back, William Zabka is in it, right? And he's married to Diora Baird, who they're separated in Cobra Kai. It's Robbie's mother, but they are the
that's right.
They're the rich married couple. Yeah, they're the rich married couple in Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh, because he found Lugal.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
great point. Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, now I gotta watch Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yeah. So Lou's mom is the hot blonde when they go back in time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great point. Oh, that is great.
Yeah. So anyway.
I need to watch that movie again. Get some Chernobyl.
Yeah. Oh God, hell yeah. But and I think we mentioned this too, the music in this. I know they mirror a lot of the old music from the movie with certain parallel points in this show as well. Obviously the motorcycle ride where the last ride of Cobra Kai is the same when Dimitri's getting chased through the mall, it's the same music as when Daniel's getting chased out of the dance and then beat up in front of his thing. Obviously, we get Bananarama Cruel Summer. Daniel's making Bananarama pancakes for his daughter.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But I love that they brought back a lot of the music from the original movie to parallel those points. And then just sort of the great, I mean, God, music licensing alone must have cost them a fortune.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you know, The Show Must Go On by Queen in that one moment, which is just fucking amazing. And then obviously any show that starts off season 1, episode 2 with Rat is a winner in fucking my book. Man.
Yes.
God.
Not enough tease at the end of Rat, in my opinion.
Yeah. So anyway, we can wrap this up and finish this up. I can blow this series all night long.
Whoa.
We'll save that for Rum Regret after dark.
Breaking news. Andy Drake blows Cobra Kai. Hide your youngsters. Hide your wives.
So let's go around sort of final thoughts on this. Is there anything that you guys want to add?
I don't think I can top that, Andy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to try and say I'm that creepy person that's like, damn it, I know these kids are underage, but they're cute as hell. If I was 16, I'd be all over Robbie like white on rice.
You do like the dark ones, Joe.
No, Robbie isn't the dark one. Oh, that's hilarious. No, I think you're talking about Miguel, Andy.
I don't think I could top any of it either, but just a recap of this, just there are overall parallels between the previous to the current. You could read them, but it was really well put together, well staged, and you knew it's coming, but you're like, oh, how are they going to do it? And it just overall, the outcome came out good. So, definitely up there in my scale of just well put together, and definitely could watch it over and over. Yeah. Big fan. Cobra Kai, Cobra Kai.
Yeah,
I totally agree. They do a great job, but we kind of to use Andy's wording, we kind of blew the show the whole time. But this is the kind of stuff. So I've talked about a similar. Oh my God, the cat just fell off the bookshelf. That's hilarious. A similar thing where if you have a show or a type of show that does really well, they will make more of those kinds of things. So
yeah.
I was referencing Lord of the Rings and stuff like that before because of other movies I want to see getting made.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I love the fact that people are very positive on this show because it's going to lead to more stuff like this. I want to see, and this is where I want TV to go because I cut the cord finally, and I want serialized shows like this on streaming devices. And these companies have so much fucking money that they will make shows created for regular TV look like trash, which is what DC is going to be doing on HBO. $100 million, per season type stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm really excited for the next season of the show. I'd love to show this to Addie at some point. It's definitely too soon for that, but we're getting there. Speaking of the devil, hi. You want to say hi real quick? Just say hi. You're on the mic.
Hi.
There you go. Okay.
Hi,
Addie. And I freaking lost my train of thought. So overall, great show. Can't wait for the next season. Really excited to see what other nostalgia-based shows we get because of something like this. I'd love to see like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles done in this kind of format where you have them tying back to the old movie and it's the kind of nowadays and that kind of thing. I love the way they did that for this. So that's it for me.
Okay. Yeah. Joe and Ken, what do you guys think? What are your sort of final thoughts on this?
I'll second what Nate said on, going back, you had the original movie set in the 80s and now you have current day. And it's just amazing how you go from, flip phones to smartphones and that whole analogy there. But the bullying thing, it gives the current kids something to look at in the perspective. And I know it's a big kind of topic. But,
it's a great point. Oh my
God. It is such a profound topic from when we were all in school. And I was the quiet kid. I didn't mention it early in the cast here, but I had a little bullying myself. But I was so quiet. I kind of just tried to escape it more or less. But it's always there. It's always there for every generation. It's for them to put it in a current version for the kids to see now.
Yeah.
And whether they see it now, they see it later. and then they can see the original. Maybe I think they'll attach more to the current, what we just see as Cobra Kai. But
Well, yeah.
it just, they can take in as they want from what they showed in this series now, or if they're smart enough, they'll put the 2 and 2 together and really get a full recap on it. But it is neat. It is neat how that whole bullying thing is really depicted in a manner that is applicable to current times and brings it up to speed.
They did a really good job on sort of touching sort of almost any and every type of bullying you can get in school now, because they had the traditional bullying with Eli / Hawk on his lip and just making fun of him day by day. And then when the Samantha's date goes wrong with the kid, and he lies that she went down on him in the movie theater, and
right. Good point.
They cyberbully her, putting sausages in her mouth and everything.
All the different levels. Yeah,
right.
Great point.
Yeah, so
they covered them all. Yeah, absolutely, you're right.
Yeah. So I just I thought that was that it definitely bring the sort of our traditional bullying from the original Karate Kid into,
kids today have no idea. I mean, it's all cyberbullying, and I'm sure kids are nobody's getting wedgies anymore or getting flushed and getting swirlies. I mean, that was all back in the 80s and 90s. But we were watching a show today, and it was animated even, and one kid was like, noon Friday, it's over. And I knew what that was, but Addie's like, what is he talking about? He's going to beat him up at lunch behind the school.
Yeah.
Like, what? Yeah.
Well, just the current day where it's just like a simple message. I can't think of the exact scene, but it really hits on the head so the kids can relate. If they were to watch that, if they're a kid, and even if they grow older, you're going to go, oh, I remember that. Then again, it touches all the way back to the old school bullying, what we're talking about, wedgies and whatnot. So I think it shows a generational progression of bullying to where no kid's feeling left out of that. Like it's been going on for every decade, from here forward.
That was really well said, Ken.
That might be comforting in some sense, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no,
that's
awesome.
Well, and I love that the fact that Johnny was so out of it that when they bring this up in his dojo, it's like, man, when we had a problem with somebody, we talked about it to their face.
Yeah, we just kicked their ass.
We just
in a group, dressed as skeletons.
Fun of them straight up to their face, and it was just like, oh man, that's
exactly. He has no idea. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, we were trained to be killing weapons by a guy who said he was in Nam.
He's slowly learning. Okay, these kids are totally different.
But no, Ken, that is such a good point. I know. Yeah, the scope of where they deal with bullying in the show is fantastic. Any other final thoughts?
Yeah,
I think we pretty
good,
well covered it.
lengthy, girthy wrap up, as Annie would like to say.
Right. Yeah, a girthy wrap up.
It sounds like the worst thing to order at Chipotle.
I would like the girthy wrap up with extra guacamole.
I'm here for a to-go order. What's the name, Nate? Yeah. Oh,
we have that with calibrated tongs. No, we don't use a scale, sir. Calibrated tongs.
Yeah, the girthy wrap up with double meat.
We're in the kilogram section. Oh my god! But and at that point, the show is low.
What did you guys think of Cobra Kai? Did you love it as much as us? Let us know in the comments below. As always, you can find us online on Facebook at Rum and Regret Podcast. We are at rumandregret.com. You can find us on Twitter at rum_regret. Joe, where can they find you on the socials?
Joe Chickadee on the socials or at joechickadee.com.
And then Ken, in true Johnny Lawrence fashion, do you have social media yet, Ken?
I'm the ungoogleable man.
He's not a mechanic. He's an assassin,
Right.
and
Yeah.
he's breaking cover right now.
I just disguise it as that. As
Yeah. He actually went.
form.
They say call the mechanic. That means you need to kill somebody.
Yeah, it's kind of like when he calls the cleaner.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you paint houses?
Why? Yes, I do.
Yeah, my husband might be the wolf.
Oh yeah. Oh well, that's all you had to say.
Yeah. Goddamn.
Oh, the wolf.
Takes 25 minutes in traffic. I'll be there in 10.
Oh my God. But Ken, dude, thank you so much for coming on tonight. You got to come on more, dude. You got to come on more. We need more Ken Myers here.
When I heard Cobra Kai, I said, "Okay, I'm in. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm in."
Nice.
I am completely down. I want Ken to be like our military liaison also for any of those movies that we do. Seriously, like the Old Guard and stuff like that.
Oh God, we should have had him on the Old Guard.
That's what I'm saying. Any of those movies
All
like
right.
that, I think it's a kind of a no-brainer. If you're down, Ken, we'd love to have you on just to talk
Spot
about
me
that
on these,
stuff.
Joe.
All
Spot me.
Okay.
On these. Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Go then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nate, where can they grab you on the socials?
Avid Gamer everywhere. AV1D Gamer, and spay and neuter your pets.
There you go.
Hashtag
All right. Hashtag get Nate hired. Let's get him a jab. You can find me at Facebook at Crazy Drake or me on Twitter at Andrew Drake. Register to vote. And
Word.
until the next time, we have spoken.
No mercy.
Mandalorian season 2.
Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai.
Mercy is for the weak. Defeat does not exist in this podcast, does it?
No sensei.
The
Thank
fact
you.
that they pull the crane kick out and the first move.
Oh, I love that part. Oh,
and then does
man.
the stare down.
Great
Yeah.
kick. First move.
Oh, so good.